I'm not gonna lie, I did have a couple tears run down my cheek. So I was home over the weekend for my little sister's graduation. I landed in Atlanta at 10 p.m. yesterday, and now here I am 7:45 getting ready to go to work. Hi, I'm Anna. This is my second work week starting a new job as a medical social worker. This week will include more onboarding, more shadowing. Today is actually the first time that I'm using the shuttle that I use. They let me do like visitor parking at my hospital up until today, where now I'm having to do like what the employees actually do, which is park, and it's like 10 minutes away at a different location, and then there's a shuttle that brings me to my hospital. So first time I'm using that, I'm kind of nervous. I was nervous about finding this parking garage. I think I found it fine. Well, I'm literally sitting in a parking spot. I think I found it fine. But I'm just like anxious, I guess, because I'm doing like something new. But yes, shadowing this morning, and then over lunch, I actually shuttle back here and then have onboarding meetings in the afternoon. So I feel like I was kind of like thrown into this week, but it should be okay because like I said, I'm shadowing, I'm onboarding, I'm not like doing something. Like it shouldn't be a hard week. It should just be a lot of learning and watching and everything. But doing this shuttle for the first time feels like a big deal, especially when I went to bed last night getting off an airplane and then woke up this morning and now here we are at work. But yes, should be good. I'm gonna head downstairs. I'm so nervous about like getting on the wrong shuttle or something, but literally what I keep telling myself is like, okay, just ask. Like if I'm standing there, be like, hey, is this going to this hospital? And the people there will know. And I also have my little yellow ribbon that says that I'm new. Happy Monday. I have successfully made it back to my car for lunch. I have to move like 3 parking garages over. The logistics today. But I think I'm gonna go inside. It's like the really nice building that I was doing orientation and stuff at that I'm going to for this afternoon. So I think I'm just gonna bring my lunch inside there, which should be fun. But shadowing this morning, I feel like shadowing so far is so interesting because it really is just up to whatever the day of the person I'm shadowing is doing. And so there have been several sitting in meetings, listening to rounds like with the doctors, kind of observing the social workers work with the families. I haven't yet got to see many new families come in to see like how the social work service process begins. I've mostly just seen like they already have an existing relationship with the family, so they kind of already know the needs and know how to support the family. So it will be interesting just to continue observing and continue seeing how like it'll actually look whenever I'm actually doing things. I don't know what the training this afternoon will be. I'm assuming it'll be like social work. It is going to be social work specific, but I'm assuming it's going to be like social work specific training of like actual guidebook policies, whatever it is, of what the social workers do at the hospital is my guess. I don't know that for sure. I think I'm going to look actually because I don't know my schedule for the rest of the week, like where I'm at and when. Okay, tomorrow, Tuesday, I shadow the entire day. Wednesday, I'm at the administration location the whole day, and the morning part will be like independent study, doing training videos and stuff on a laptop, and then the afternoon part will be like onboarding meetings, I guess. Thursday, I shadow in the morning, and then I have my first like supervision meeting, which is fun, and then the afternoon is more onboarding, and then Friday is all onboarding, all at the administration building again. So kind of here and there. And then this upcoming weekend's a 3-day weekend. I guess I'm glad that I'm like soft launching working full time, but it is kind of funny that this is my first Monday through Friday, but then it's a 3-day weekend, but then I only work 2 days, but then I'm back out of the country. There's just a lot going on. I'm really enjoying it still so far, getting to see everybody, getting, you know, all of that. I need to eat food before I disintegrate, but before I eat food, I have to move my car. So many moving parts, the logistics. Another day done, another start to the week done. I don't know what has gotten into my feet, but I have gotten such bad blisters from today's shoes too, and I've never have before. If you've watched previous vlogs, you know that I'm having troubles with my running shoes too with getting blisters, so I don't know what's going on, but it's something. With Run, I had planned to go for one tonight. Right now it is pouring rain and I am feeling exhausted, which makes sense because I got home late last night, so I haven't decided yet if I'll just like give myself time to chill and then try to get out maybe like 7:30 or something. I do a late run, I don't know, TBD on that one. I feel like because I was so frantic like this morning and then a little bit at lunch too, I didn't tell you my stories for the day. Story number one, I woke up this morning already tired because, you know, I got back from the airport, so like a quick shower, I got into bed, so there's like my suitcase all over the floor, like everything is already a little bit where it's throwing me off a little bit. So I wake up early, I'm exhausted, I'm trying to get ready for work, I'm trying to get my work bag ready, I'm trying to pack my lunch, and I get my breakfast started. I put my everything bagel in the toaster and I got 4 eggs going on the stove. Still going about my business. The eggs are done on the stove and I realized that I put too much like oil on the bottom of the pan. Either that or it was like condensation coming down from the top. I don't know. The egg looked really liquidy, like under the egg looked really liquidy. The egg was cooked and I didn't want to dump that onto my bagel and get like with this weird egg juice on my bagel. So I go over to the sink and I kind of just start like tipping the pan because I was like, okay, I'll just get the few drops out. And you probably see it coming. All of my eggs just went straight into the sink. Like they slid, they went straight into the sink. And what I thought was kind of funny, I was standing there and I was just like looking at my eggs and Zach asked, he was like, oh, are you gonna eat them? As they're like sitting in the kitchen sink. I did not eat them. I had to make new eggs. So that was Egg-mageddon this morning. I'm not gonna lie, I did have a couple tears run down my cheek just because I think it was just like, of course my eggs are in the kitchen sink, not being eaten by me whenever I'm trying to get to work early. So there was already that. And as you know, as I mentioned this morning, I got to my parking garage and I took the shuttle for the first time to my actual hospital. Number one, adult school bus vibes. I don't know if anyone else was like feeling the fun, but I kind of felt like it was fun. We were all sitting in our seats, had our little work bags. I was like, it's been a while since I felt like this. But then two, we actually start going and I swear, like I was getting whiplash from this driver driving down the roads. Like we got there so fast, but I'm sitting in the seat and like when she takes off, it's like so if you ever see any shuttles whipping through the streets of Atlanta, just know that it's probably me on my adult school bus having so much more enjoyment than anyone else on there apparently. The onboarding for this afternoon went well. It's a lot of just talking about how like day to day being a social worker actually worked. We like briefly went into documentation today, but a lot of it also was kind of housekeeping things about like how to request time off, how to clock in, like how to, you know, just be an employee. I like the slow like trickle of information that we're getting, and I loved, oh, okay, this is gonna be honestly like a brag because I know that this is not as common in workplaces as it should be, and it definitely like hasn't been in my previous workplaces. Literally my actual supervisor today, when talking about like time off and attendance and call outs and everything, was like, there's no gold star that you'll get for perfect attendance. Like we will not celebrate you for perfect attendance. But I just love hearing that because I like thinking like, oh yeah, I'll be one to use my time as I get it when I want it and everything. But I also know like when you're in a job and wanting to do well, sometimes it can be like, oh, like I don't want to make my coworkers cover for me, or, you know, or whatever it is. But she's just very much is like, you do not get celebrated for always being at work. If you get leave or if you're leaving at a certain time each day, no one's gonna applaud you for doing too much. Or saying that like for lunch breaks too, you know, like if you on some random day work through your lunch break, like make sure that you get paid for that. But also if you keep working through your lunch breaks, we're gonna have a little one-to-one of like what's going on that's not sustainable here, because we need, like, you need to have a break during the day just to do whatever you mentally need to do. So it's just cool hearing that, like from a culture perspective. Even who I was shadowing this morning was talking about like productivity, because we like measure our productivity and like how much time we spent with different patients and like what we spend our time doing and everything. And she was telling me like the productivity number that we strive for, like the percentage that we strive for, and she was like, no one's gonna celebrate you if you get above that. So like obviously you don't want to like average below or anything, just to make sure you're actually like doing what you need to do. But it's not like, oh, if you have 90% productivity that they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, wow. Just because it's not like that. Like you do what you need to do, but it's, you know, it's not like this competitive type thing, which is cool to hear. And I'm probably gonna need to be reminded of that often, especially once we start getting like annual reviews and stuff. But I'm gonna run inside. Don't know what I'm doing tonight other than laundry, cleaning up, you know, trying to recover from a trip. We'll see. You know, the shuttle leaves in 2 minutes from downstairs, but I think I'm gonna make the 8:15 one instead because you guys are important to me and I didn't vlog at all last night. So I want to make sure to get my morning clip in. And also I was just kind of running early and I don't have to be there until 8:30. And so let me actually check. check who I'm shadowing and where I'm meeting them today, because maybe that's important. Yeah, 8:30, so I'm good to go. Last night, I don't even know what I did. I did do loads of laundry. I definitely did not put them all away. I think I ate dinner. I think I made a smoothie. I just was like a little haze. I definitely got tired very quickly. I unpacked a little bit, didn't put everything away. I did not go for a run because it was raining, so my plan is to go tonight whether or not it's raining, because I have 2.5 miles to run. What else did I do? Oh, I made a figs order, like fig scrubs. I know that they're more expensive than, like, there's definitely cheaper scrubs that you can get. However, the figs pants were on sale and I only need pants. I don't need the whole get up. So that was kind of fun. I'm kind of excited for those to come. I don't think they'll come this week. I think they'll probably be here next week. But yes, today is a full day of shadowing, which means I'll probably get to observe social worker working with families, see different ways that needs can be met. It really is just such a gamble with shadowing, because there could be a day full of things I've already seen happen, or there could be a day full of things that never usually happen, or there could be a day full of things that are just like an entirely new learning experience. So it's always interesting. Because I didn't get to go grocery shopping this past weekend, for lunch today I brought 3 protein bars. That is not a good nutritious lunch. Don't do that. But unfortunately, it's where I'm at right now. Oh, I didn't show you yesterday. You want to see my work phone? It's like 5 pounds because it's all external batteries. Like, the battery clip just comes off, and there's always like battery charging stations so that you don't have to plug in the phone. It's never for at home. Like, I think I will eventually just leave it in my desk, but it to be reached like while you're in the hospital. And what's a little bit funny is that there's like a directory on it that you can see anybody. Like, if I were like, oh, I need to talk to a case manager or something, I could just go to case managers and like see their names, see who's logged in and available, and like send a text or shoot a call. But what's funny is that things are alphabetized by first name. The A's tend to get more calls, which is fine. Totally fine. I'm excited to see what today consists of. I'll let you know afterwards, but I'm gonna go downstairs and wait for my shuttle. 15 minutes from now. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope you have a great day too. Full day of shadowing, and it was a busy day today. A lot of the shadowing work that I did today, so just like observing while other people work, was having like meetings with families and doctors. I've learned that in my role that will happen sometimes to facilitate conversations between the caregivers of a child and between the medical team, just so that if there's any questions or anything like that going on, everyone can have full understanding and understand the plan, you know, and like what might change the plan, that kind of deal. So I had 3 of those today, which apparently is more than usual. Still just getting used to the new environment, still trying to piece together the new role and what each day will look like. I did clean out my desk today from the previous person who had been there. She'd like left some things, so I cleaned it out, and now I'm thinking I need to bring some magnets or pictures to put up to really like move in and make my desk my desk. If you remember from jail days, I don't know if I ever talked about this, I shared an office with 2 other people, so there was 3 of us, but there was only 2 desks in that office, so like 2 chairs, 2 computers, everything. And since I was the last one in, that just often meant that I didn't get a desk, or I didn't get a computer, like even when I needed to work. So just the fact that I have my own little cubicle with a whole desk and a whole computer and drawers all to myself, that is so new to me, but I'm loving it. Like, I get that's pretty close to the bare minimum, but I'm loving it. It definitely is like a closet office. There are 7 of us in the same office, but I have my own space, so that's fine. But it definitely is a closet office, like in the basement. And the basement is this maze. And it just occurred to me today that that probably means that my office is semi-close to the morgue, and I don't know how I feel about that. It's like, as I was walking to the bathroom today, just like in the hallways, it clicked where I was like, the only time that I hear about hospital basements ever is that is where the bodies go. Terrifying. Morbid. Sorry for that. I really want to run today, but I also really need to make dinner. So I'm trying to have those be my only 2 priorities, just because I feel like I don't have time in my days. But make dinner and run. And if I do that, it is a successful night.
World had more of your smile. What if the wind could spread your love?
I wanted to show you the books that I had to fight traffic to pick up at the library today. Also, I did a 2.5 mile run today. It felt surprisingly good. Hard during it because I kind of was pushing pace during it, but I did get it done, which was good. And I also made dinner, which, remember I said if I got those 2 things done, then the night was a success. I just spent probably like 30 minutes putting away laundry because there was just so much from my trip, and then since I wasn't here this weekend, a lot from last week, there was just a lot going on with the laundry. But let's see, we'll start with the ones I'm most excited for. The ones I'm most excited for are these 2 books books by Mary Downing Hahn. This is Deep and Dark and Dangerous, and this is The Old Willis Place. These were like the it girl books in elementary school, mostly Deep and Dark and Dangerous. All of my friends had read this. You were cool if you'd read this, which looking back, like that's terrifying. Oh my gosh, you can see the camera. I don't remember exactly like actually what they're about, but I remember them being, welcome back. It's wackadoodle time. Anyways, what I remember about this is that it's like a girl goes to visit some family member on a lake house, and she's like swimming in the lake and like finds the ghost or like the body maybe of another little girl. Morbid. Again, sorry, but I'm telling you, as a 10-year-old, this was it. And this is another book that I know I read by her. I don't remember this one as much. Again, terrifying. What was I doing at 10 years old, and was I fine? But both of them are middle grade and pretty short, so that's why I'm excited to read them. This one is also pretty short and small. It's called A Psalm for the Wild Built, a monk and robot book. This was a recommendation by Allison Pages, and I think it's going to make me feel like cute about humanity. That's what I think. Oh yeah, it's an award winner. We'll find out. This one, The Matchmaker's Gift. I'll try to talk about these as I actually read them, so there's more information. I'm pretty sure this one is magical realism. Like I think it's cozy fantasy sort of some sort, but I also could have totally made that up. My camera's running out of battery, so I'm feeling pressure. This one is Hold You Down. I think it is about friends or sisters in New York in the 90s, late 80s to early 90s. Again, wish I could talk more about it, but my camera feels like it's pressuring me. And then this is what I'm reading right now. It's An Ember in the Ashes, and it is a fantasy. It has this whole like world building thing going on. It might be putting me into like a little fantasy era, but it's told from two point of views. One guy is like training to be this like super lethal soldier killer guy for like the Empire, and the other girl is part of the resistance, but she also becomes a slave, and then like they're gonna meet, I'm so sure, and I'm so sure they're gonna fall in love, but they're not there yet, and there's a lot happening like around in the world other than that too. I feel like I've heard good things though, and I really have been loving it. So I'm gonna get like skincare and brush teeth and stuff done and just see if I can lay in bed. I wish the laundry hadn't taken as long, because now I only have like 15 minutes to read or something like that. I might push it to 20 if I'm feeling bad.
What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars.
Different car angle today because there's someone right next to me and I'm trying to be a little more discreet. But happy Wednesday. Today I'm at the fancy administration building all day today. The morning is independent study, watching videos and such. I don't know exactly what's assigned to me, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. I did my benefits yesterday, which was fun, like opting in and out of the different benefits. I think there's also like policies for me to read today in the morning, and then I'm actually planning on getting my lunch here, which is new. Like it's the first time that I've actually done that. They have so many lunch options, but I like haven't figured out yet how to do it. You know, like where to go or what foods I'm gonna like or whatever, but that's gonna be the task for this lunch. And then this afternoon is going to be more meetings with our social work supervisor and the two other new social workers. I know I mentioned this last week, I don't know if I have this video, but one social worker started the same day as me, and then one started this Monday. So the one that started this Monday is going through her orientation that I did last week, but in the afternoons we're all meeting together to, you know, discuss social work and how it goes. So hopefully it's an interesting day. I kind of expect that this morning I might be kind of finding things for myself to do, because I don't know, I finished those computer-based trainings really fast. So I think there's technically supposed to be more that I have left than I actually have left, but I'm sure that I'll find some sort of little nook to put myself in, and it'll be a great day.
Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope.
So another very full day today. I have come to love being in this little administrative building. I feel like you can just tell, like, it is beautiful. The lunch options were amazing. They have like this little kiosk that you go into and you can see like every option that they have, and they have different daily specials every day. And so today I got a Mediterranean bowl and I like selected what I wanted in it and everything. And then you pay and you just go and pick it up from whichever area, like if you got the deli or if you got hot kitchen, whatever it is. So I paid, I got a little confirmation text that was like, your order has been placed. And then within 60 seconds from that, my order was ready for pickup. Like, I think someone just snapped their fingers and there was my lunch. The morning I did spend time finishing up my videos and reviewing policies. I finished all of the trainings that were like assigned to me, but then I learned in the afternoon that there's a whole section of trainings that were supposed to automatically be assigned to me that weren't automatically assigned to me, so I'm not actually done like I thought I was. There's a whole social work module that's what's left over, so like pretty important because it goes into actual details of social work and not just like the hospitals as a whole. And I looked at the first section of one, and the very first section of one of 4 little modules said it took 2 hours, so that will be in my future. There'll be time built in for that, like that's an at work type of thing, but just changes things a little bit. In the afternoon we had the like meeting with social work supervisor, the onboarding, and today a lot of the focus was on resources that are available to families, because in order to refer families well and to be able to see, like assess a family's need, figure out what would be best for them, and kind of help figure out like what may they qualify for that could be helpful to them, you kind of have to be familiar with the resources around. And so that's a lot of different foundations, some government funded programs, some nonprofit, and these can be things like, as I was mentioning yesterday, for families like while their child is in the hospital, whether it's Ronald McDonald House for housing, whether it's Medicaid transportation for getting to and from the hospital, whether it's meal vouchers for the actual hospital cafeteria, you know, just like those basic need things. But then also some of it can be trying to set a parent up if they're having, you know, problems. Like there's different law nonprofits that are willing to help a family if they're getting like illegally evicted, or if their SSI is getting denied and it shouldn't be, or if their Medicaid is not going right and it should be, you know, or there are immigration lawyers that can sometimes help parents that we can refer them to. Like I don't do work with that, but I can refer them there. I'm trying to think what else. A lot of money-based ones that are if a child is going to be requiring like a high level of medical care while home, that there are programs that will help figure out insurance, because like Medicaid can be helpful, but it's not perfect, it's very far from perfect. So it's just kind of like learning the ins and outs of all those different things, and kind of like specifically, okay, if you have a patient that would qualify for this and should apply for this, this is how you do it. Like these are good contact people to talk to there. So a lot of the like community networking, I guess, to know what's available and how to get patients and families connected with them to actually be helpful. That was a lot of what we spent time on today, which is really cool and it's really helpful. I think I did a lot more of that when I was interning as a school social worker than I did in the jail, because the jail was it was a bubble from the community. Like I was on the inside, and so I wasn't communicating outside. I wasn't helping with discharge. Like it just wasn't release, transition back to the community. That just wasn't the lane that I was in, the role that I was in. So it is fun because I do enjoy this part, because like if there are places that are willing and wanting to help, being able to connect families to those places is, you know, ultimately a good thing. So we did a lot of that today. And what's cool is I've seen the social workers that I'm shadowing do that, but it's cool to like, okay, then learn in detail. I saw us fill out a referral form for this agency, but like, what is this agency? What does it do? Who does it want to help? So I don't know, it was all cool to learn. I enjoyed it. Zach's at the grocery store right now getting food because we are out again. I made a bowl of oatmeal because that's basically all we had the ingredients for my snack that I'll go out there and have. And then tomorrow, as I feel like on Mondays I say what my entire schedule is for the week, and then every day I say what my schedule is and I say what the next day is. Anyways, tomorrow, if you don't remember, I'm shadowing in the morning. I have my first supervision meeting tomorrow with my like clinical supervisor, which I'm excited for. I've met her a handful of times. She was in one of my interviews, and then I've like run into her on the unit just one time so far. So I have my first supervision meeting, and then the afternoon is more onboarding, but actually at the hospital. So I think I'll get like a full integrated tour of the entire place, because I've seen where I'll mostly spend my days. Like obviously I've seen my social work office, which is in the basement with an unsure distance away from the morgue. I've obviously seen the units that I'm actually on. If y'all are curious like which medical areas I'm spending my time in, let me know. I feel like I've been talking general just so it is like a general medical social work experience, but I don't know if that's something you'd be interested in. I can definitely talk more about the intricacies of the specific medical unit that I'm on. But instead of telling you right now, I want you to guess in the comments, like, or say like if you were working in a hospital where you would want to work, because I am on a very like specialized floor that I'll speak about at some point. But I've seen that unit and like that whole floor. Definitely can't make my way around there, but I've seen it all. And then I've seen like the lobby, but that's pretty much it. Like I haven't even been to the cafeteria. I haven't been like to the gardens outside. I haven't seen any of the other floors. So we'll do all of that tomorrow.
You fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream away.
Hello, I'm shuttling today, so I'm gonna talk a little bit fast because though I do still love you, I'm not going to take the later shuttle for you today. But today's Thursday, so as I've told you so many times, I feel like I'm shadowing in the morning. I have my very first supervision meeting because my job does offer free clinical supervision just within regular work days, both individual and group. I don't know the frequency yet. I'm sure I'll learn that today. And in the afternoon, I have onboarding meetings again. So I'm excited to shadow again. I feel like with the families that I've already been like shadowing other social workers work with, I wasn't here yesterday, so now I'm like curious of the updates and stuff. So, like my heart's in it, you know? Brought my book to read on the shuttle. It's like I can read for about half of the shuttle, and then there's one road that I would not, I could not. So I probably get like 10 minutes of reading in on the shuttle whenever I took it before. It's a full day though, feeling good, feeling ready. Brought my lunch today because Zach went and got groceries last night, as I mentioned, so I just have like a peanut butter sandwich and 2 apples. And like I said, feeling good. I have absolutely no idea how audio is like this and if you'll be shaking. Oops, that's my bad. Sorry, close your eyes. But I'm in such bad traffic right now, which like Atlanta is notorious for, but I swear it's worse than ever before. I just sat like the first car in a green light at a stoplight for 3 rounds of the green light before there was enough room on the road ahead of me to get into it. And I had just come from previously accidentally getting stuck in an intersection, and I'm not trying to be that person. So craziness going on. No idea when I'll get home, if I'll get home. Absolutely wild. But today was so good. The morning was mostly like rounds. There were 2 different types of rounds that were just meetings, like not physically going around to the beds, just meetings about the patients. And then I had my first supervision meeting actually with my clinical supervisor, whose hours comes with my job, which I'm so excited for. Like that is an incredible social work perk that should be at every employer, but is not at every employer. But she is so cool. And so just like getting to do our first meeting and kind of, you know, just touch base and talk about how orientation's been going. And something that is just so wild to me, but I'm loving, the first 6 weeks at this job, they were only expecting me to acclimate. Like just acclimate for 6 weeks. I am feeling very blessed. Something that was kind of interesting that we talked about in supervision, because we were talking about my transition and the social work skills. I don't know why my camera is moving. It looks like it's moving on its own accord. That is strange. But she was talking about how she didn't come into the hospital with any kind of hospital experience either, because neither did I. But she was saying obviously the difference is she came in with 20 years of social work experience, and she was like, obviously like you don't have that kind of experience, which of course I don't. I have 1 year of post-grad experience. But she was saying, she was like, but the reason that we chose you for this job, which then my ears kind of perked up because I was like, oh, why? She was like, not only was it just like the way you presented yourself in the interviews, but also what stood out, she said, was the way that I talked about promoting a strengths-based perspective to other disciplines. Like she said, the way that I talked about my clients and getting all teams like on the same page to try to promote the strengths-based perspective about clients was something that like really sold everyone that I was interviewing with. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I really try to do that. So it's cool to hear it from her that I guess it came across that way in my interview as well. Just super fun. And then there was like a going away party for one of the social workers who is moving internally. She's not the one whose position I'm taking. Someone else is taking her position, but she's moving into a different like sector still in the hospital system. Actually, all of the social workers whose positions are getting filled now moved internally, which I feel like is a really good sign, because it's like, oh, we didn't want to leave the company, we just wanted something different with the job role. Good sign. And then after that, we got a tour of the entire hospital, which took like 2.5 hours to walk to almost every floor, like see it all, try to make sense of where things are, which is really hard, but was really cool. And then we just had a last part of an onboarding meeting. This one we talked about some standout policies that just like to be aware of, things like what to do if there's disruptive behavior from a caregiver, things like elopement risk, which is what they call like running away. I just think it's so funny coming from like a jail perspective, because in my head I'm like, oh, escape risks, but like you're not escaping a hospital. Elopement risks, things like the Terrell-Peterson Act, which I'd never heard of. I think it's a Georgia state law, but it's a law in which if a child is in imminent danger, like at the hospital, meaning maybe like parent is trying to take a child away and the child needs treatment within 2 hours or something for their life to continue, something like that, that there's actually a law where the doctor can assume immediate custody of the child to care for the child. So instead of having to try to make a DFACS referral and, you know, just like those things take time, it obviously is not used all that often. We just learned about it today. We also talked a bit about like the structure of the hospital, like the hierarchy, just between like residents to fellows to attending doctors, chief of staff, like type thing. So I'm feeling good. I'm gonna get home so much later than usual. You can tell I'm moving now, which is great. I don't know what was going on previously. If the audio of this is terrible, I'm so sorry. I will never do it again. Hope ready for an Atlanta style bump. Ugh. Okay, I'll talk to you later. I don't know if you can tell, but I got my little social work, do you see it? My little social work badge yesterday. Today, I'm back at the fancy location to do onboarding just all day, so I don't know exactly what we'll be learning. I think one thing is that we'll be customizing our epics together, and I'm not sure beyond that, but I'll definitely let you know. Done with my second week of work and headed into my first actual weekend of work, which is Memorial Day weekend. My videos are getting delayed again. Probably not Memorial Day weekend when you're watching this. I'm just trying to love myself well, get things prepared. Just like I said in the morning, this was all onboarding meeting today. We went over a lot of legal and risk type things because obviously anytime you start somewhere new, there's just different legal guidelines. So for us, it was a lot of talking about like medical consent, parents, caregivers, guardians, legal guardian, things like that. We covered documentation today and set up Epic, like personalized Epic, to have tabs and categories that are most beneficial for my role, which I'm excited for because I felt like before I would just open Epic and be like, this means nothing to me. I didn't know how to make it work for me. So I did that and went over the different types of documentation that we'll be doing. We talked about like DFACS referrals, the child protection referrals. We talked about those a lot more in depth, and also how to like problem shoot, problem solve, contact people. In my unit, it will be a lot less DFACS referrals due to alleged or suspected physical abuse or SA. Just in my particular unit, most likely it will more so be cases of medical neglect that takes weeks, months to become a thing. So it's just a different type of working with child protection than I've really done before because I've never done that before. So we're kind of talking about like the specifics of that and what puts a child at danger and when and how to have those conversations. I'm trying to remember what else we did. I feel like we did so much today and it's all just like meshing into my brain, slowly filtering through. I feel like I have a good grasp, or at least a better grasp, of the like actual individual tasks. This is something that I had mentioned maybe even in February whenever I went to the job fair. I don't know, but I had mentioned that there was a part of my previous job that was so much more draining than I had thought it was going to be and just wasn't what I enjoyed as much as I thought I would necessarily, and that I was looking to not do in future positions. And at that time I didn't want to say it because I didn't want, like, I had current clients at that time, but honestly I am no longer doing like mental health counseling of any kind. Not to say that I never will again in the future, but having full formal individual therapy sessions at this point in my life, I just don't think it's for me. That was one of the very hardest parts of my previous job, and I think it was because I was just in a setting which was already so draining, and so it's really hard to fully be there for someone and hold space for them, like emotionally, therapeutically, while not being filled up by anything. And I think I was like, I personally, obviously, like, I'm a very biased opinion. I don't think my services suffered because of my burnout. I think that I suffered because of my burnout. Like, I'd mentioned this in my previous quitting video, how I felt like I was at the point where I was like, when your hands are getting rubbed and they just really hurt and get really raw before they callus over, like I was at that point. So I don't think I actually calloused over, but all that be said, I am not doing mental health counseling, like clinical counseling in my current job. We will refer out for that. So it's much more connecting resources, crisis intervention in the time, maybe some like coping skill support, you know, some counseling in that type of way, not being like official counseling therapy, being a liaison, empowering choice, empowering knowledge, empowering families and patients to ask questions and make sure they understand what's going on, ensuring safety of child patients. So I know I have described my role already, but just to put it like clear out there, I am no longer doing therapy. And like I said, not to say that I never will again. It's just at this point, it was draining so much out of me and I wasn't good at, I don't know, compartmentalizing or filling myself back up to where I couldn't do it anymore, and I didn't want to do it anymore. Like, where I found a lot of joy in jail was whenever I got to connect people with resources, help them solve their problems, like their physical, tangible resource type problems, or crisis intervention or coping support. But that just feels like what fills me up a lot more than, at this point, therapy. There are really great therapists out there who love what they do and are so good at what they do. I am just no longer one of them at this point in my life. I also just got this, so I figured I'd open it with you before we go. It's a Haldi order. If you've never heard me talk about Haldi, it's probably because I made a bulk order like a few months ago, so I haven't been getting things from them. But Haldi is an entirely free skincare service, which is always linked down in my description for you to take the free quiz. They take your skin concerns and give you personalized recommendations for your skin and like your budget and how many steps you want in a skincare routine. Just build that skincare routine for you and are experts in doing so. But the moisturizer that I had been using is out of stock everywhere. I don't know what happened to it, what they're doing, so I had to get a different moisturizer. So I asked them for recommendation. And what's so cute is they always send these routine cards based on what you have. So like it has my morning routine of like the face wash I have, eye cream that I actually have used up by now, the moisturizer I just got, and then sunscreen that I guess they sent me a sample of, which is cute. And then same with nighttime where they just give those. But the moisturizer that I got, called Barely There Lightweight Moisturizer, super hydrating lightweight cream. This is a cute little cylinder. Look at this little pump. It's like so short and squat. That's the new moisturizer. And then yeah, they threw in some sunscreen samples of the brand that I currently use. This weekend is going to be so big on cleaning, laundry. I've already got some laundry started, wiping down the kitchen, vacuuming everything, all of those types of things, editing videos. Haven't decided yet if I'm vlogging it or not, but regardless, you will be seeing me again soon. So thanks for joining week number 2. I feel like this vlog might have been kind of long, so hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you. I love you. I hope you're taking time to be kind to yourself. Right now, think one good thought about you, about your life right now. One of my favorites is, I love what is happening to me right now. So if you can't come up with anything else, just tell yourself that. I love what is happening to me right now. And I'll see you next time.